Good evening. Welcome to the first and the only 2008 vice presidential debate, Governor Palin and Senator Biden.
Nice to meet you. Hey, can I call you Joe? Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Gwen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
The House of Representatives this week passed a bill, a big bailout bill, or didn't pass it, I should say. The Senate decided to pass it. Was this the worst of Washington or the best of Washington that we saw play out?
Neither the best or worst of Washington. Evidence of the fact that the economic policies of the last 8 years have been the worst economic policies we've ever had.
You know, I think a good barometer here as we try to figure out, has this been a good time or a bad time in America's economy, is go to a kid's soccer game on Saturday and turn to any parent there on the sideline and ask them, how are you feeling about the economy? And I'll bet you're going to hear some fear. Fear, fear, fear. The barometer there, I think, is going to be resounding.
2 Mondays ago, John McCain said at 9 o'clock in the morning that the fundamentals of the economy were strong. He's out of touch.
He was talking to and he was talking about the American workforce, the greatest in this world. That's a positive, that's encouragement, and that's what John McCain meant. It's truly had that track record of reform, and I've joined this team that is a team of mavericks with John McCain, also with his track record of reform. Just get the job done. Get down to getting business done. We're tired of the old politics. I think Americans are craving something new and different, and that new energy and that new commitment that's going to come with reform. I think that's why we need to send the maverick from the Senate and put him in the White House, and I'm happy to join him there.
Governor, Senator, neither of you really answered that last question. Talk about the subprime lending meltdown.
Darn right it was the predator lenders, just everyday American people, Joe Sixpack, hockey moms across the nation. I think we need to band together and say, never again.
John McCain, while Barack Obama was warning about what we had to do, was literally giving an interview to the Wall Street Journal saying that I'm always for cutting regulation. John recently wrote an article in a major magazine saying that he wants to do for the healthcare industry, deregulate it and let the free market move like he did for the banking industry. So deregulation was the promise.
Governor, please, if you want to respond to what he said about Senator McCain's comments about health care.
I'd like to respond about the tax increases. Darn right we need tax relief for Americans. Barack Obama even supported increasing taxes as late as last year for those families making only $42,000 a year.
Charge is absolutely not true. If you notice, Gwen, the governor did not answer the question about deregulation. He did support deregulation almost across the board. That's why we got in so much trouble.
Would you like to have an opportunity to answer that before we move on?
I'm still on the tax thing. I may not answer the questions the way that either the moderator or you want to hear, but I'm going to talk straight to the American people.
Governor, are you interested in defending Senator McCain's health care plan?
I am, because he's got a good health care plan as opposed to Barack Obama's plan, this universal government-run program. I don't think that it's going to be real pleasing for Americans to consider health care being taken over by the feds.
Given the events of the week, the bailout plan, all of this, what promises have you and your campaigns made to the American people that you are not going to be able to keep?
I want to go back to the energy plan, though. You know what I had to do in the state of Alaska? I had to take on those oil companies and tell them, no, you know.
So, Governor, as Vice President, there is nothing that you have promised as a candidate that you wouldn't take off the table because of this financial crisis we're in?
There is not, and how long have I been at this? Like 5 weeks? So there hasn't been a whole lot that I've promised.
There are ways to help people now, and the ways that we are offering are not being supported by the Bush administration, nor do I believe by John McCain and Governor Palin.
Governor Palin, is that so?
That is not so, but because that's just a quick answer, I want to talk about, again, my record on energy. East Coast politicians who don't allow energy-producing states like Alaska to produce these, to tap into them.
Governor, I'm happy to talk to you in this next section about energy issues. Let's talk about climate change. What is true and what is false?
I'm not one to attribute every activity of man to the changes in the climate. I don't want to argue about the causes. What I want to argue about is how are we going to get there to positively affect the impacts. With the impacts of climate change, start dealing with the impacts, deal with climate change impacts.
If you don't understand what the cause is, it's virtually impossible to come up with a solution. We know what the cause is. The cause is man-made. John McCain has voted 20 times against funding alternative energy sources and thinks, I guess, the only answer is drill, drill, drill.
The chant is drill, baby, drill.
Wonderful. You agree. On that note, let's move to foreign policy. Okay. You, Governor Palin, have said that you would like to see a real clear plan for an exit strategy. What should that be, Governor?
I am very thankful that we do have a good plan, and the surge and the counterinsurgency strategy in Iraq that has proven to work, I am thankful that that is part of the plan. We do have a plan for withdrawal. We have got to win in Iraq. The surge that has worked, we're getting closer and closer to victory.
With all due respect, I didn't hear a plan. This is a fundamental difference between us. We will end this war. For John McCain, there is no end in sight to end this war. Fundamental difference. We will end this war.
Governor.
Your plan is a white flag of surrender in Iraq.
John McCain voted to cut off funding for the troops. Let me say that again. He voted against it. He voted against it, the funding, because he said the amendment had a timeline in it to end this war, and he didn't like that. How different is John McCain's policy going to be than George Bush's? I haven't heard anything yet. I haven't heard. It may be, but so far, it is the same as George Bush's, and you know where that policy has taken us.
On another issue, interventionism, nuclear weapons. What should be the trigger, or should there be a trigger, when nuclear weapons use is ever put into play?
Nuclear weaponry, of course, would be the be-all, end-all of just too many people and too many parts of our planet. So those dangerous regimes, again, cannot be allowed to acquire nuclear weapons, period.
Nuclear.
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 Governor.
Nuclear. Our nuclear weaponry here in the U.S. is used as a deterrent, and that's a safe, stable way to use nuclear weaponry.
Nuclear.
Can we talk about Afghanistan real quick?
Nuclear.
Oh, man, it's so obvious that I'm a Washington outsider. You had supported John McCain's military strategies pretty adamantly until this race.
I never supported John McCain's strategy on the war.
I beg to disagree with you. I think we need a little bit of reality from Wasilla, Main Street there, brought to Washington, D.C. Just everyday working-class Americans saying, you know, government, just get out of my way.
And you ask anybody in there whether or not the economic and foreign policy of this administration has made them better off in the last 8 years. And then ask them whether there's a single major initiative that John McCain differs with the president on.
Say it ain't so, Joe. There you go again, pointing backwards again, though. You prefaced your whole comment with the Bush administration. Now, doggone it. You mentioned education, and I'm glad that you did. I know that education you are passionate about, and with your wife being a teacher for 30 years, and God bless her, her reward is in heaven, right? My dad, who's in the audience today, he's a school teacher. There's a shout out to all those third graders at Gladyswood Elementary School. You get extra credit for watching this debate.
Everybody gets extra credit tonight. Governor, you said in July that you would have to, someone would have to explain to you exactly what it is the vice president does.
No, of course, we know what a vice president does. I'm thankful that the Constitution would allow a bit more authority given to the vice president also, if that vice president so chose to exert it.
Do you believe, as Vice President Cheney does, that the executive branch does not hold complete sway over the office of the vice presidency? That is, it is also a member of the legislative branch?
I do agree with him that we have a lot of flexibility in there.
Vice President Cheney's been the most dangerous vice president we've had probably in American history. The idea he's part of the legislative branch is a bizarre notion invented by Cheney to aggrandize the power of a unitary executive, and look where it's gotten us. It has been very dangerous.
Those things that we stand for, that we can be put to good use as a force for good in this world. John McCain and I share that. John McCain has been the consummate maverick. Also, John McCain's maverick position that he's in.
Look, the maverick, let's talk about the maverick John McCain is. He has been no maverick on the things that matter to people's lives. He has not been a maverick in providing health care for people. He's not been a maverick when it comes to education. He's not been a maverick on the war. Maverick he is not on the important critical issues that affect people at that kitchen table.
We're going to fight for the middle class, average, everyday American family like mine. And there is only one man in this race who has really ever fought for you, and that's Senator John McCain.
My dad used to have an expression. He'd say, "Champ, when you get knocked down, get up." Well, it's time for America to get up together. America's ready, you're ready, I'm ready, and Barack Obama is ready to be the next president of the United States of America.
That ends tonight's debate. Good night, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You too. Thank you. So are you. Thank you. Good. Thank you.